I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Hello, and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast for your Monday. Back at it. After a really nice weekend, though. It was a hot, crazy hot, but there's still a lot of good stuff going on inside. That Panthers game, very nice. Sergei Bobrovsky had a great game. The Panthers win 3-0, and Virginia's husband won some money.
He did.
That's all good, right?
You got him on them prop bets, and he is just so energized, making videos, sharing his picks.
Good for him.
You got him in it.
It's
He is
fun.
exciting.
You got to have something to be excited about, right?
Yes, he loves hockey, so it's perfect.
Look, addictions are fun. Just kidding.
You also had your anniversary over the weekend, Virginia.
Yes, we did. We had our 12th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
12 years.
Was there fireworks in the sky?
Panda was a little bit under the weather, so we didn't really do anything. We were going to go out and have a nice fancy dinner and celebrate, and he went to MD Now on Friday because he really wasn't he's got chronic asthma, so occasionally it will get worse and worse, and then he has to go, and it constricts his breathing to where he feels like he can't take a deep breath, and then it could turn into pneumonia.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, look, dude, you better go to MD Now. And then I finally think he listened and went. But he wasn't going to go, just like a man. Wasn't going to go.
Believe me, I had to call Virginia about something on Friday. It was after the show, so I call her up and about making plans, and it turned into and he just never goes to the doctor, blah, blah, blah. Oh, shit.
No.
I do not want to be on this call right now. It's Friday, motherfucker. I'm trying to have good vibes. I'm like, oh, boy, I hear her. She's getting ready to go onto a rant. 3, 2, 1. Ah, shit.
And now you're just in it.
Oh, I just let you talk.
You have to let me bleed out because you can't stop this.
So, damn it, why did I call?
Nope. Once it gets going, it gets going. Jeremy's want to know, he said, is it me or is Virginia next level bougie? On her anniversary, it looked like she was sitting in the back seat while her husband was driving.
Oh, no. I was in an Uber. I left him at home.
Oh, okay.
He didn't feel good, and so Mama had plans.
He's got the flu, right?
Yeah, they swabbed him and said he had the flu. And he said he didn't feel like he had the flu, but they gave him all the flu medicine. So he started taking all the flu medicine, and now he's on, I think, day 3 of taking all the medicine. But we just didn't want to bring him out and about.
That's awesome. Right in time for our live podcast. I'll be getting sick.
You haven't seen him.
You
I have no flu. Look at me.
You're a witch. You don't get sick like that.
So you think I can give you the flu without having it?
Just bypass right through you?
Absolutely.
Right to Bird.
I'm not that magical. I think he had it, and I think he just neglected it and didn't take care of it. And then, I don't know, he might have been past the point of being contagious because he didn't feel good for like a solid week and a half before he finally went to MD Now.
Does he like it when you tend to his needs and stay with him and nurture him, or does he like to be alone when he's sick?
I think he's a combo. I don't think he wants, me up his butt, but I think he does like to be taken care of. I bring him food.
Scratch his back.
Yeah, I'll do a little bit of that. Not a lot.
So if he's sick, is he cool with you bouncing out to go have a good time?
He knows what he married.
Okay.
I mean, he's sick. I'm not. Woohoo, let's go.
Yeah, so you're not going to slow this train down. I'm going out and having fun regardless.
Well, I had multiple things that I had committed to that I wasn't going to miss. One was like a fancy fun party at my girlfriend's house on the ocean.
Okay.
Was not skipping that because she always has the best food, the best drinks, the best entertainment, the best people. So Panda was invited, but I didn't want to bring him all flued up.
Okay.
As soon as Virginia's Uber pulled in and then drove away, he looks out the window, goes, and she's gone. Turns on the music, starts dancing.
Well, he was kind of doing that. So at the MD now, they gave him all the flu medicine, but they also gave him steroids to help open up his lungs. It's good for his asthma, I guess. They give him steroids. But the steroids also make him feel invincible. So he starts having like a party. It's him and Rocco. He's like, hey, Rocco, fuck it. You want to go to the pool? Rocco's like, yeah, I want to go to the pool. So they go to the pool and they're like partying, throwing down. Panda's throwing Rocco all over the pool. And then all of a sudden he starts to feel horrible. Like, I think the flu said, oh, no, you don't.
Right.
And the flu said, let me remind you, I'm the flu. You don't party on me.
That's usually
And then he started to feel really bad.
That's how I know I'm getting sick. I'll be chilling just like this, and all of a sudden a wave of this odd feeling comes over me and it goes, shit, you're sick, dog. Fuck. You saw it happen when I had COVID.
I did. You called it.
I was having a great time. I was chilling. I stood up and I go, oh, no. It's happening. Does it happen to you like that?
I am lucky. I haven't gotten sick in a while. You know when I get sick? When I neglect my sleep and I neglect my mental health. Those are the two things. Like if I let people get to me or if I let sleep neglect come into my life, then I will get sick. But I've been pretty good recently about trying to get toxic people away and trying to get better sleep.
Okay.
That's the two things for me.
This Jeremy's also wondering about the girl that was singing opera at this fancy house.
Yeah, she's one of, Mags knows her. She's one of the young girls that runs around Jupiter with all like Mags' age. They're the same age. She went to Dreyfus. She went to Bach with Mags.
Okay.
And my girlfriend invited her to the party to sing opera for everybody. And it was beautiful.
Okay, wow.
For a young girl, I mean, she's got this opera voice like you've never heard before. It was beautiful. Ava. She was really good.
Okay, fancy opera parties.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay.
I like entertainment.
You do? Okay.
I do. I get down with a great party that has a little entertainment worked in unexpectedly.
Okay.
I'm down.
Well, if you love the bougie life, good news, I guess, for you. If you like the show Palm Royale, Apple TV has renewed it for a second season. It will be coming back. And that's great because that last episode, they really kicked it up a notch. And I'm hoping that season 2 really picks up and takes off. And they got a lot of good drama on there.
That would be fun and good for our area, too. People watch a show like that, and then they flock to the area because they want to see, oh, is it really like that on Palm Beach?
Yeah, that's the one thing I will give you with the show is I thought they accurately really depicted it without even shooting in Palm Beach. There was a lot of the same look and essence and feel that, I think you would. I think Palm Beach would deliver. I think if you saw Palm Royale and you're like, I want to see that. If you went to the places on Palm Beach, you'd be like, okay. It's what I thought. It's the look, it's the style, it's the pretentiousness, everything you would expect.
And you said the show kind of started slow, but then it got really good, and you loved the ending.
Yeah, it really picked up at the end. And I think a big part of it, it was one of those shows where it's very character-based. You've got to get to know the characters. They're all very good. There's about 7 or 8 really solid characters. But it takes some episodes to get in and start understanding. And then when you understood the characters and you got to the last episode, you're like, okay, here we go. You can see how they could really now use them.
Okay.
So it feels like it could take off. We'll see. Mark said, I watched it. I gave it a solid B+. I thought the episode with the whale was hilarious, and it was interesting watching the real-life couples acting together. Laura Dern and a real-life father. I think his name's Bruce. They were on there. And that was kind of a cool little thing. That was neat, having them on screen together.
I like that.
And then Kristen Wiig and the chemistry that she had with the astronaut, which is actually her real-life husband. So they did some things together on that. So there is some good stuff on there. The cast is pretty amazing. And he said, if you like twisted characters who slowly reveal their different layers of personality, I think you will love also White Lotus. Yeah, I've seen both of those. And a lot of people really loved that. I thought they were good. I thought I'd give it a B. It was decent.
I couldn't get into it. I tried watching it 3 different times.
White Lotus.
Couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was okay. He said, Dune is the same thing when it comes to characters. Many layers to unveil. The books were like that, and the movies try to explore it. So wait until you meet Paul's sister, Alia. Such a great character. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Dune and the upcoming movies they're going to have. Liza said, hey, guys, I was listening to the show on Thursday. You're talking about Stranger Things, and I think all 5 of you would absolutely love this show. It's one of my absolute favorites of all time. I think every season gets better and better. They've even taken 2 years between some seasons, and I think the shows is very well thought out, and it's written very well. The last season will be coming out this year, I believe, possibly early 2025. In my opinion, I think there is one episode out of the whole series that was mid, and the majority of the fan base agrees. Yeah, we'll see. That might be a show. I mean, there are some shows that are out there that I'm starting to get on. I'm starting to think about some of the ones I want to see. I haven't seen Cobra Kai yet. I watched a few episodes of the first season, but I kind of want to let that whole thing go to make sure it's highly regarded before I jump into all of it.
I don't know if you're going to like it towards the middle end.
Okay.
Only because it does start to focus a lot more on the teenagers, which I see why they're doing that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see the Karate Kid. I
You
want
want
to
the
see
old
my
school.
guys. I don't want to see a
Right.
bunch of high school kids
Yeah.
talking about their problems at a fucking pool party.
Yeah. Not your thing. And Ryan from Lake Worth has a couple comments. He said that he saw 16 Candles. Wanted to see if Suits would like that movie.
That movie can make me laugh. There's many funny parts in that movie.
It's a 80s comedy, which a lot of times Suits doesn't love. And yeah, I wonder if he would like that. Suits hasn't watched 16 Candles yet?
He might have, and I don't think he would like it. He has watched it. I'm pretty
thought
sure
he did.
Yes, I don't think he liked
Yeah,
it.
because there are a couple things that don't age well. The whole thing with the passing off of the girl. I mean, there's some things there you're like, okay, that's kind of weird. Long duck dong.
The donger.
The donger. I mean, you know, I don't know where we are with our sensibilities today. Probably wouldn't be doing that in a movie in this era. So there's a couple things that, I don't know. And did you see Pat Sajak signed off on Friday?
I watched his speech.
How was
in
it?
real time.
Yep.
I believe it was taped, but I watched it when they were doing the broadcast. I watched it with one of my snack pack friends, and we both thought he nailed it.
Nice.
I thought he really had a nice going away speech.
Yeah.
It was prepared, but
It was good. It was in his style, and it said everything, but it didn't feel forced. Because what do you do? I mean, you've been there for a very long time doing that, and how do you ever finally say goodbye?
it was because I think it's emotional for a lot of people. Wheel of Fortune's been in people's lives for a long time, and it really is a show you can watch with your family, anybody. You don't have to worry about anything.
Did he quit or did they push him out?
I think he retired,
Okay.
unless that's the narrative.
I think it's kind of his own terms. I believe Vanna White's staying.
Yes.
So if they would have pushed him out, you'd think they would have, kicked both of them to the door.
Right.
I did notice he mentioned everybody. He didn't say shit about Seacrest. And I wonder, because sometimes, you pass the torch and you say something to the new one coming in.
I don't know you. I don't have any vested interest on that.
Fuck Seacrest.
I agree.
He ain't my Sajak.
He gets too many gigs.
Man, I get why they got him. Look, I love Pat Sajak, so you're taking out one of my boys and putting in a guy who I don't think is that awesome.
So Ryan was asking, what do you think about Seacrest taking over? I don't. Look, Seacrest was groomed by, and I don't know to what level groomed, but Merv Griffin, who was the guy that was doing a lot of these game shows and talk shows and all that stuff back in, the 80s. When Seacrest was just a kid. He grabbed Seacrest pretty early and brought him in.
Bet he did.
Yeah, but there's never been anybody that's been matured for a job like this, like Ryan Seacrest has. You can throw all the hate you want at him, but if you need a host to step in, Seacrest is, he's one of the first picks you'd have. And I could see Seacrest as probably be a good gig for him to ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, I to be quite honest, I don't really hate Ryan Seacrest. I just think he is boring. I think he is just vanilla.
Yeah, he gets the job done. He's on autopilot, and
Exactly.
he gets through it, and it's seamless, and it's nice, but
He's almost a robot, almost.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you think of those moments that you've seen that the Seacrest really made you laugh. Or that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Seacrest did that. How many of those moments pop up in your head?
And
Zero.
That's what I mean. Pat could make me laugh at times.
Yeah. He was good. He had a great dry wit to him. So
And you're right. He's solid. He's great. He's
Yeah.
boring, but he's boring.
it'll probably work. I don't know how personality plus you have to be. They are getting some, a little bit more where they've got Drew Carey on The Price is Right. Drew Carey was a comedian and did his thing. And then, you look at Family Feud. They went with Steve Harvey, a guy who's a comedian. But that's been more, that show's always kind of had a little bit more personality plus on the host. And I think they've wanted that.
My favorite part of Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy during that whole block, I always love when they interview the contestants, especially on Jeopardy. It is always awkward. There's always some the shittiest story. It's so. And Alex would always try to make a joke, and sometimes it wouldn't go anywhere. It could just be really uncomfortable. Okay. And the same thing sometimes with Wheel when you would do the interview, it just could get uncomfortable. And I love that kind of TV.
Did you see what happened on The Price is Right? I think it was on Friday. They do the Showcase Showdown, and this guy had, I think it was a trip in a car, maybe it was a trip to Miami, and what was the actual retail price? And he said $35,000, and it was $35,000 and $1.
He was $1 off.
That's pretty
Not
impressive.
a bad guess.
Yeah. It's pretty, I don't think you get anything extra out of that, but,
It's impressive.
Impressive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 39,500 is what it was. He guessed, he wagered that, and he was $1 off. That's pretty good.
So he wins, right?
Yeah, it's hard to beat. I mean,
I don't know if that ain't my game really. I'm not. There's like 11 games. I feel like
There's
in
so
the
many
game.
games within that game, and depending on luck of the draw, if you get up there in the contestants row, you could get an easier game or you could get a harder game. It really is luck of the draw.
I mean, I love the vibe of the costumes and running. I love all that. But then, whammy. Okay, now let's spin some wheel. All right, let's take this hammer and hit this.
There's no whammy. That's press your luck.
Wow, exactly.
Dude,
it's all very confusing.
There's no costumes. Let's make a deal.
What the fuck is...
What the fuck is wrong with you? I was just asking myself the same thing. What the fuck is wrong? You just put 3 different game shows together and tried to say that was all Price is Right.
It confuses me.
You put Let's Make a Deal, Press My Luck.
I get it. I'm stupid. I fucked it up. It didn't land.
How dare you?
she takes it very seriously.
I love Price is Right.
I'm not bad. I don't know what this shit I'm talking about.
That's the one that has like Plinko.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still
Showcase Showdown.
That's the one that
the big wheel.
That's the one that confuses me.
There's a lot.
There's no costumes in that.
No, not usually.
Yep.
People wear T-shirts that have funny little sayings on them, but the costumes is Let's Make a Deal.
Got ya. Do we like that one?
We like the old ones. I don't really like Wayne Brady. Is that the host?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really care for him. I think he's a little too cocky.
Okay.
Because of one interview you guys did 19 years ago. Let it
Fuck
go.
that guy. Nah, fuck that guy. He's on the
still on
list.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to that one.
Let it go.
He's so cocky. Sit down.
Doug said, Kevin, if you want to see a really good documentary, check out the Jim Henson one on Disney Plus. It is by Ron Howard and shows him creating his Muppets. Even the end credits, which I usually skip, are fun.
I am a Muppet fan.
Me too.
The Muppets know how to, in my opinion, they know how to attack the heartstrings. And you go, oh, that was kind of slight. Like adults can enjoy the Muppets.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's a lot of heart within that franchise. And I am a big Jim Henson fan. I'm definitely going to check that out.
Okay. All right. This was a comment that I thought was interesting. Could there be a future feud between 2 former Seinfeld castmates?
I saw this and I wanted to put it in the dirt, but I was confused if there was really anything there or if everybody else is trying to make something of it.
I know, so I know that crew pretty good as far as their dynamic because of Curb Your Enthusiasm. What's the feud?
Well, here's what happened. Weeks ago, Jerry Seinfeld made comments about sitcoms and how when you went home, you always knew Thursday night was this or that. And sitcoms really were a big part of the American fabric. And now that doesn't really seem to be the case, where you have the must-see TV like you used to back in the 90s when you had Friends and Seinfeld. And he was sharing his belief that he thinks PC culture is harming the comedies. He said, "This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people." So, of course, they got Julia Louis-Dreyfus into an interview, and they asked her point blank, how do you feel about Jerry's comments about that? Do you believe that it's this PC crap that has ruined sitcoms? And what do you think about all this politically correct stuff that he had to say? And she said she thought it was a red flag when comedians complain about political correctness. She said, "I believe being aware of certain sensitivities is not a bad thing. I don't know how else to say it." And so she kind of contradicts that. Now, it could go absolutely nowhere, but the one thing that some people are raising their eyebrow about is that, yeah, she's taking the opposite side of Jerry Seinfeld's opinion on this, which he is very opinionated on, and they've just noticed that Jerry's been a little crabby lately.
A lot of people have noticed that, but here's the thing about him. He's been saying that for a long time. This is not a new stance from Jerry, but to your point, a lot of people are noticing he's kind of coming off a little old man crotchety.
Right.
He did an interview with Bill Maher. It was pretty funny just because they weren't like, I don't think they hate each other or anything, but Seinfeld just would push back or, "Oh, stop it, Bill, no," and they just did not get. It wasn't a kiss your ass kind of an interview,
right.
And that's how I think that's how Jerry Seinfeld is, though.
Yeah, and
it's kind of always been that way.
To me, it honestly should be good and it should be fine. Where you can say, "Yeah, I don't agree with his opinion," and you should be okay, and you should still be friends. And they seem like she's been on his comedians and cars of coffee, and so they seem to still stay in touch and be okay. So hopefully they'd be like, "Yeah, I don't agree with you."
I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Yeah,
I don't think so either, and that's why I left it out of the dirt, because I didn't think it was going to be a thing. They're trying to make it a thing, and I kind of sniffed that a little bit. But
probably won't. I mean, you'll
everything
see.
doesn't have to be a thing.
Yeah, also too, there's a lot of people in my personal life where I don't agree with what they don't. I mean, we don't agree on certain things, and that is okay.
It's fine,
Just
actually.
We
You
don't
can still
agree
be
on-
friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally.
You're not supposed to agree on everything. That's crazy.
That should be the way it goes. Well, last week there was a National Donut Day that went on, and Chris had sent this in. He said, somewhere I saw this and decided to recreate it. I wonder if Jbird's ever seen the 2 maple donuts and 1 snack and bacon from Dunkin. You pile that bacon high, cut some into pieces for a topper. You smash and enjoy. Maybe 5 minutes or 5 seconds in the microwave just to soften it up a bit. And there's his photo.
I love it.
A little creative there.
I got a good video coming up with one Rocco Sinicki that I'm working on. It's a Dunkin' commercial.
Rocco was so happy when he found out we were all going to be in a car ride together with Jbird and donuts. He was like, "Yeah, sign me up."
Man, Rocco had me belly laughing in the car. Yeah, he is a funny kid.
Yeah, he is.
We were doing the Dunkin' commercial. So I'm trying to end it, and every time I was ending the commercial, it wasn't live or anything. He would start doing a dance, but each dance I go, "Rocco, you can't do that dance in this video."
He twerks, but it's very suggestive.
He twerked one, and then it was this one where he did, who?
Oh, he's doing thrusting.
Hip thrusting.
Okay.
But yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing. It looks very provocative. I haven't stifled his dancing fun because he's just, he's 8. He's having fun, but it does look provocative.
Oh, it was
Just can't put it in a Dunkin' commercial.
No, but
I was laughing.
it sure is funny.
That was funny. He also did his review. I saw the video of the Tesla truck.
Yes. He got to do a tour of a Tesla truck for everybody in case you've never seen the inside of one of those. They're pretty cool.
Very confusing. Like, oh, there's the window. That's not the window. That's the eject button. I go, wait, what?
The eject button.
Can I just have
Gosh,
a
that'd be
window where I
amazing.
can fucking roll it down with my hand?
Nobody rolls windows anymore, Papa.
Over here sound like Seinfeld.
Yeah, you are. You actually sound like Larry David, which is even older than Seinfeld
Absolutely.
and more crotchety.
I'm pretty convinced Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David are the same person.
I think so. I think Jerry is trying to morph into Larry.
It's fun to hear about some of the stuff that went on behind the scenes. I think Jason Alexander and Michael Richards, or Richard, is it Richards?
Yeah, Michael Richards. yeah.
Yes.
They are of the school of acting, and they take their shit seriously. And you can tell that Larry David and Jason Alexander, they would butt heads at stuff, and they would. I think they like each other.
Yeah.
But he even wrote in Curb Your Enthusiasm how they just do not like each other in the show.
Working together is tricky.
Yeah, I just think you got some passionate people there, and he'd go up to Larry David and say, Larry, nobody would. This is an unbelievable script. This would never happen. Nobody would ever be in a masturbating contest. Because that's not true. I was, and that is a real story. He's like, okay, fuck.
Master of my domain. That was one of my favorite episodes. Jason's wrong on that one.
Alexander is.
Yes. Yeah, Jason Alexander's wrong on that
And
one.
if you watch some old clips, there's bloopers and stuff, and you can tell when Kramer is nailing his line and someone else isn't doing it. He looks annoyed that people aren't nailing the line.
okay.
I think Jerry Seinfeld really does love everybody in that circle, but like anything, I think more people are difficult than others.
Sure.
They've all kind of got their own whole thing. Okay, that makes definite sense. Let me see some other things that we got here. Ryan said, hey, 25-year listener, wanted to mention something to Jbird about his dizziness. My mom had something called Meniere's disease.
Yes.
It developed in her late 30s to 40s. She'd get dizzy spells where she couldn't get out of bed and would get nauseous and sometimes threw up from it.
Oh, Lord.
She did have a medicine she could take for it when she had spells, but it took a while to diagnose. And they said it was vertigo, where the fluid was between your ears. It controls your balance. It gets messed up. But that was the wrong diagnosis before they finally figured out what it was. So if you don't have a regular primary care doctor, you should go to an ear, nose, and throat specialist.
Yeah, absolutely. My sister's been out of town. She got back, and she's helping me with all that. So I am working on it. My family's a little concerned, and they know that, sometimes they a little kick in the butt.
You need to vertigo to the doctor.
I am. I just went to the doctor.
I don't think you went to a great doctor. I don't think you were thoroughly checked enough. That's just, there has to be more thoroughness because you're still dizzy.
Yeah.
We don't stop until the dizzy stops.
I didn't bring that up to them, so but it's not their fault. I think it's something to do with my neck. My neck is just jacked up, and even when I touch it, I can feel things shooting into my head, and I get dizzy. It makes me dizzy. So we'll see. We're getting it looked at.
Okay, that's good. They put a finger in your ass?
Nope, they have not.
Do you want us to?
Then you didn't get properly checked.
Well, it took me a while to find a doctor because I think our insurance kind of sucks.
Our insurance is tricky because it's not Florida based, and so a lot of Florida people look at it and go, "What is this?"
Yes.
It's confusing because it's not Florida based.
I can't tell you how many times I found a doctor, booked the appointment, and they called me right back. Oh, sorry, we can't take this insurance. I'm like, oh, cool. So it took me a minute to find a doctor. I'm in the market for a new one.
I know, me too. I think we need to get a new primary care because ours retired. My primary care has been MD now, and just thank God I haven't been seriously ill in a long time because our girl retired. It's heartbreaking.
Our girl did retire. I liked her because we were considered young. Everybody was 90 years old.
Including her.
She told me I had young-looking gums. I go, oh my gosh, thank you.
Oh, it's not
That's so
such
sweet.
an interesting compliment.
I thought so too. But please tell me more.
And then you pulled your testicles out, and she went, "Oh Jesus!"
Oh, you have young gums.
Those things are
balls.
Those things are not young.
You got 90-year-old balls, but you have youthful gums.
Those are the oldest balls I've ever seen.
To Cuesta balls.
And Kathy said, I'm glad that you're addressing the mental health issues, and it needs to be talked about more. Too many people do feel that if their child struggles, then it must be the parent's fault. I like what Virginia said about Rocco internalizing his feelings. That is exactly what happens when a child does not have the vocabulary or safe space to vocalize what she is feeling. Mental health services can be difficult to access if you do not have financial resources. Community mental health can require a lot of hoops to jump through. School counselors are not necessarily mental health therapists. Many do not have any therapy qualifications. And often boys who are sensitive are told to suck it up. If you think things are tough now, wait till you have to fend for yourself, kid. So many negative messages that something is wrong with him get to the kid.
It's true, and people are afraid to bring it up. I mean, I was embarrassed growing up with panic disorder and all that stuff. Because I think people sometimes thinks that you're faking it, or sometimes people don't understand the severity of it, and it doesn't make sense because there's a lot of irrational fears that go along with it.
Well, if you don't have it, you don't get it.
Yes,
but it's real, and just because you don't have it doesn't mean it's not real.
And I made the mistake of telling a baseball coach about it, and I thought I was doing the right thing, and holy shit, did his attitude and the other coach's attitude change towards me? I saw it instantly in a very negative way.
Really?
Oh yeah, a very, very negative way. That's why people don't move forward sometimes and says something.
Were they telling you like suck it up?
They just were. They wanted nothing to do with it. They didn't want to help. They just were like, all right. And
okay, head case.
Then they were actually assholes.
Oh, that sucks.
It was a very weird place, and then I thoroughly regretted bringing it up.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's why people don't bring it up. And if you do say it to the right person will help you.
Totally.
Yep.
And that's why you have to be your own kid's advocate. Don't trust the school. Don't trust the counselors. Don't trust anybody until your kid starts feeling better. But you got to be that advocate for your kid to get the right help and the right therapy.
And it's not one of the. There's times where people can be little bitches and they don't want to do something, and then there's times where people legit have some mental issues, and a lot of people don't understand them.
Yeah.
Because they don't make sense to a lot of people.
I think that's a challenge a lot of people have today, is trying to decipher which is which.
Yeah, and I do think the more people do talk about it, the more normal it does get.
Yeah. Kathy said waiting to see if things get better is not the best choice. The child that is the overachiever rarely acts out and tries to always do the right thing is probably internalizing his or her feelings. So the child may be overwhelmed with homework and may cry or feel that if a project is not completed, that they are a failure. The child that acts out excessively is not verbally expressive of his or her feelings, but is expressing that there is an issue. More discipline may not be the right answer. I do hear that too. I've often seen when you got a fussy kid or a kid that's acting out, it's like, well, you just got to beat it out of them. And, I think that's kind of the old school mentality.
Well, like coaching, I don't think you should coach every player the same exact way. Everyone's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And when you do try to do cookie cutter coaching or that kind of leadership, it can be it can be weird.
Yeah.
You would talk to me differently than you would talk to my buddy Bigfoot that I played with.
Totally.
We have different personalities.
And Stephanie had an opinion on the later school start time. She said, I don't agree with Virginia about starting kids later for school. Not everyone has a support system to have the luxury of taking their young kids to school later in the morning. Just to give you an example, I have a 9-year-old that I need to take to school at 8 in the morning. I have shared custody with my ex. I have to be at work at 7 a.m. on a normal day. On the days I have to take him to school, I get to work late. I lose $350 a month in overtime due to having to take him to school at that time. It'd be great if he started at 7 instead. Well, I remember, back
7? That is ridiculous. I'm just listening to the pediatricians, and you're just listening to the fact that your own workday starts at 7 a.m., which is also not the norm.
Well, the thing that I'm confused about, do not all kids have the ability to
take the bus?
Yeah, take the bus.
Yeah, you don't have to bring them.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I think your scenario is being jaded by your own individual job that begins at 7. I'm listening to the pediatricians, which say kids should not be trying to wake up at 5:30 a.m. to go to school. It's still dark outside. Their circadian rhythms do not jive with that, especially in adolescence. Go look it up. it's a thing.
Yeah, I just the one thing I do agree with the email is some people don't have a support system, which makes things tricky for people. People that are doing it all by themselves, holy fuck, man, that's tough.
I remember back when I was a kid, you had what was called latchkey kids, and these were kids that had to get themselves off to school, and they would come home to a house where there were no parents, and they'd, the latchkey was them getting themselves in and out of the house. And I'm wondering if there are parents today, because it seems like we do have softer parenting that is going on. Is it that some parents just couldn't fathom leaving their kids home alone while they go off to work and trusting their kid to lock the door and then let themselves back in at night? I wonder if that's part of these struggles. But yeah, some people are saying that, not everybody can get a bus. And that's interesting. I didn't know that not every kid had that opportunity for transportation to and from school.
Gosh, I wanted to ride the bus so bad. Kay Pennington was not having any of that shit.
You couldn't take the bus.
I remember fighting with her because I wanted to go on a field trip. And I ended up winning the fight because of my dad helping me out. And she just did not like the idea of me on there's no seatbelts on. Oh boy, here we go.
Panda didn't like the idea of a bus either, and I finally talked him into it. And now Rocco loves the bus, and he does it. But yeah, I mean, it's scary.
I loved the bus. I was so mad.
It's scary for parents.
Well, I mean, kids love field trips. They still like field trips?
Oh, yeah.
All right, yeah.
Totally.
And somebody pointing out here that they love Jbird's hat, and they just saw it. I've been meaning to send this. It's all because Jbird, I saw the hat and loved it. Edwin sent this in. And there's somebody, it looks like they have pretty much the exact same hat as you do, except theirs might be more blue. Yours is a little purple with the underlying red.
Nice. I love that outfit.
I do like that hat.
There you go. He's doing a little casino gambling as well.
His hat's nicer than
gambler's hat.
mine. My hat's from a costume store.
Oh, okay.
Still pretty, and it's expensive.
Okay.
He's got the whole outfit going on, too. See, he's got his hat matching his jacket. Yeah. I mean, that is very, very chic.
Yep. All right. Well, y'all have a great Monday. Get ready for a wet week. Lots of rain coming our way. So we're going to be talking about what are you going to be doing when you're stuck inside? Because it seems like we're going to have that kind of week and maybe even weekend.
Are we talking thunderstorms?
Yeah, we are talking about a good bit of moisture we're going to be getting this week. And it's good because it's been really dry. But...
Yes. My grass is crispy.
Yeah.
My grass looks like my hair right now. Kind of crispy. It needs a little haircut. It needs some water. It needs some love.
Okay. All right. So we will see you back here tomorrow. You have a good one. Goodbye.